Morning everyone, and welcome back to Saturday live stroll with myself and Azra. It's been a couple of weeks, hasn't it? Last time we did this was a couple of Thursdays ago, before Azra and Ralph went off for their little holidays as well. Azra, come on. She just missed a cat on the other side of the road because she was too busy sniffing other wee. So did this a couple of weeks ago, before they went off on their little holiday. We went off on our holiday, but now we're all back. We arrived back around lunchtime yesterday in the end. We had a bit of a rubbish journey on the motorway. Wasn't too bad, but to be honest with you, we were about to get off the ship earlier than I thought we were going to be honest with you. Julie and James got off very easily, but because Mum needs assistance, I stayed with her, as you would expect. But you then have to wait your turn. But we were very lucky, but we got in there, sat down. I think we'd only been sitting there not even 5 minutes. And they called Mum's name because the coaches were all being delayed turning up. And I do think that's very frustrating that they do prioritise the coaches before any other assistance needed. You know, they should sort of have a first come, first serve, or an order, whatever you want to call it. But we were very lucky, and we managed to get off. I think we were off by about 8:30. And as I say, just getting your bags and everything else. I say we got round back about 1 o'clock. Yesterday lunchtime, I felt absolutely shattered. I got up to watch the ship coming in, but there wasn't much to see. I thought, I'll just go back to bed. And we had to be up at 6 because we were going to go for breakfast before we got off the ship. And as I say, it all just became very rush all of a sudden. I think that was either a big cat or a fox. I think it was a big fluffy cat, to be honest with you. But yeah, as I say, we got home just after lunch yesterday. And you know what? I was saying to Julia just last night, or no, yesterday afternoon. Do you know what? I haven't noticed sea legs this time. If anyone's been on a cruise, what I mean by that is where you've been swaying with the ship as a natural thing. When you get back to solid land, your body almost feels like it should be sort of compensating for the fact that there's no movement anymore. And all of a sudden you get up and you feel like you're swaying. And I said, I've not had it yet. But I think because we'd been on the move and everything else, just hadn't felt it. But by goodness, did I feel it last night and this morning as well. It passes within sort of a few days, but it's quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Not worrying, but it's sort of, you just think to yourself, it's a strange sensation. There you go, that's what I was looking for. Thanks for the light, good morning. Yes, you have a good day too. As I always say to everyone, be safe in whatever you're doing and keep it real. Hi to Mike. So, as I say, if you are new to the channel, do make sure you like and subscribe. It does really mean a lot to the channel. It has grown hugely over the last sort of couple of months, but especially the last few weeks whilst I've been on the cruise. I've been doing lots of lives from on board when we've been out and about. It really has been quite an exciting sort of last few weeks. I definitely am British. I may sound a bit croaky this morning because I feel absolutely exhausted still. I was saying, cruising is a mix of busy and relaxation. When I say that, when you're in the port, you're quite sort of busy doing stuff, if you want to, of course. Some people don't even get off the ship. But then on the sea days, you sort of chill out. But I've been getting up early and doing the lives and everything else. So, it is a mix between relaxation. There's only one day at Geelong I actually physically got up early because we wanted to get a sunbed. And I think that was between Sardinia and Ibiza. And I just said to you, I want to have a nice relaxing half day, whatever it turned out to be, which it turned out to be half a day. Just chill out on a sunbed. Because as with, unfortunately, most places, sunbeds are in the minority. Thank you for all the likes coming in. Do make sure you like and subscribe. Does really mean a lot to the channel. Hi to everyone saying good morning. Yeah, she's a good dog. I think they really did miss us this time. They always have a good time at the sitters. It's not even the kennels they go to. It's someone's house, and they absolutely love it. I mean, I wasn't able to video when I dropped them off because obviously it's difficult when you're dealing with other people, but they didn't even look back when we dropped them off. You take them into the garden, you give them the people their beds and food. They didn't even look back. So yeah, it's one of them that you always feel quite happy to drop them off and go on holiday yourself. But it's not cheap putting dogs in. I mean, kennels is even more expensive, so I'm not even going to start with that. But it's fine for 2 weeks, or it's a bit over 2 weeks actually, wasn't it? It was dropped them off on the Thursday. So what's that? So 15 days, that's 560 quid. Now that's almost like taking another person away with you, or taking some spending money away, whichever you prefer. And I'm not moaning, before anyone puts a comment, well, it's your choice to have the animals. We love having the animals, but I'm just pointing it out that you have to plan for these things, that it is quite expensive putting dogs into kennels or sitters, whatever. But anyway, they love being there, they love coming out, but they're always pretty tired for the first couple of days when they come back. I was just talking to you about sea legs about 5 minutes ago. As I'm walking down this road, it feels like I'm swaying to the right. It's such a weird sensation, it really is. I'd love to know if anyone else has been on a cruise and have felt this, but it is quite surreal, it really is. So, yeah. So what's everyone else up to today? Where's everybody watching from? Do you know what, when I was away, the amount of people that I was speaking to sort of in America, Australia and other places, I think sort of in Asia, as well as the UK, and it was quite, strange sort of speaking to people in different time zones, and people were actually tuning in to watch my little channel. And yeah, okay, a cruise ship might be a little bit more exciting than our strolls we do around the village, but even so, it was quite surreal. Going back to the channel, I think over the last 2 weeks, and I don't think I'm exaggerating this, we had over 100 new subscribers, and that's purely and simply doing the live strolls every morning. Come here. Morning. Doing the live strolls every morning. Obviously doing some live strolls in different ports that we went to, but that was quite difficult. And the reason I say it was quite difficult, because you're on holiday, you're sort of looking at stuff yourself. Just a minute. Morning. Come on. We're not used to seeing people this time of the morning, are we, Azra? We must be out a bit later, or people just having a walk before it gets hot. You all right there? Come on. Nutter. And, yeah, it's just when you're in new places, when you're on a ship, you know to a degree, Azra, come on, you know to a degree, you know you're tangled up, aren't you? Wait. Wait. Well, then, you know what you're going to be seeing. Just all the football pitches starting to get marked out. I'll show you, if James's pitch is marked out, what he'll be playing on this season. Season starts in just over a month's time. What we now? No, not even a month, is it? I think his first game is the second weekend of September, so probably 4 weeks today. But he's got a couple of friendlies coming up. We had to take him to the doctors yesterday because he's developed, I would say it's a bit more than 3 to 6 months. It might even be longer than that, but he sort of kept it a little bit quiet. He's very quiet, James. As if you've watched any of the vlogs, you will know he hates being on camera. But when he's off camera, nothing like it. He just hates being on the camera. Trying to get anything out of him when I'm on the camera is difficult. Anyway, he'd got a sort of a clonk from his knee. And it honestly, guys, sounded like bone on bone. And it sounded horrendous, and I mean horrendous. You know, if you didn't know, you would think to yourself it was just literally bone on bone clicking. Anyway, he's got to go for an x-ray. But they generally think it's where he's grown so much, so quickly over the last sort of 6 months that his ligaments and sort of cartilages, stuff like that, are just taking a bit of time to catch up. Now, hopefully that is the case, and it's nothing else, because they certainly seem happy for him to sort of carry on playing football, which obviously is the main thing from his point of view. Obviously, as parents, clearly we want him to be enjoying whatever he's doing, but we have to look out for his welfare as well and his health. And if the doctor said you can't play, you've got to rest it, then he would have had to have done that. Yeah, he's only missed any amount of games for injury once, and that was probably about 2 or 3 seasons ago, when in a friendly, if you please, against one of the other teams from the club, at a corner someone trod on his foot and actually broke his metatarsal. And do you know what? He hopped through on goal to score a goal, but he was hopping. And I knew straight away, like, he always comes off, I'm hurting and stuff like that. I knew straight away he was hurt. I could just tell there was a difference between his normal moans of aches and pains and a definitive, this hurts me a lot. Have they marked out his pitch yet? Yeah, they have. It seems like they've pushed it a bit further across this time. Obviously, with the weather we've been having, it's pretty rubbish over here. It's still a little bit dry. But this is the pitch, one end, and obviously we'll follow the touchline down. Azra, come on. Come on. Follow the touchline down. Just remembered she hasn't been this morning, which is quite unusual for her. Normally she's been, but she's obviously slightly out of her little routine that she's in, so she'll probably go at the most inopportune moment. Azra, this side. Good girl. And then just over there is the old centre spot, halfway line, but the pitch is looking pretty brown and horrid at the minute, but it'll sort itself out. Again, thank you for the likes, thanks for the highs, good morning to everyone. Do make sure you like and subscribe, hit that bell button, because we do this every day. This is, if I'm honest with you, slightly later than it normally would be, but the weekends are always like that. Normally during the week, it's normally around sort of 5, quarter past. We're doing this for, and I'm going to continue doing this, rain or shine, If you've been with me from the very beginning, you will know I've been out in some pretty horrendous weather. And I will continue because it's good exercise for me, and by goodness do I need it. I weighed myself this morning, guys, and I don't mind saying it to you. I weighed myself this morning. I want to weigh at 14 and a half. Now, I don't know whether people want to have a guess as to what I weigh now before I let you know. Come on, Azra, let's go. Bear in mind, I've just been on a cruise, and it's all you can eat, all you can drink. Azra, come on. If anyone wants to have a guess, I will not be upset, so don't feel bad. I'll give it a minute or two. Let's say, if anyone wants to have a guess, please do. Then I will let you know. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it still shocked me a little bit. So read into that what you will. We'll give it another 30 seconds. I don't know whether people are just watching the lovely walk on me on mute, or whether people are embarrassed to say. I don't care, guys, so feel free. Another 10 seconds. Right, sod it, because I'm bored of waiting. 14.12. Now, that is £7 put on in 2 weeks. Now, I want you to think about it, guys. All you can eat, all you can drink. But I have been walking every single morning. I've been doing, if you've been watching any of the lives, these stinging nettles, they need cutting back. I said about this before we went away, and they are as bad now, if not worse. And I just got stung. Such a shame. A picture then. Maybe I'll bring my other phone tomorrow, and I'll take a picture of it, because that is ridiculous. And I'll put the parish council on it as well. I've been getting up every morning to do these lives, and there's no promenade deck on Britannia. There is a small wraparound deck on deck 18, and if you walk around it 7 times, it's a mile. Now, I've been doing that most mornings, either doing a live or otherwise, and I just think to myself, what would it be if I didn't weigh myself? If I didn't do the walking every morning. So you guys have helped me as well by doing these lives every morning. What would it be, if you didn't do that? Forget the fact you're doing all the walking around the ship, and Britannia's a big ship, not one of the biggest, but probably the 3rd biggest in the fleet of P&O. And where we were sort of mid to forward, I would say. And our dining room that we had to use for breakfast and dinner, because we were club dining, was the Oriental, which is at the back of the ship. And that's quite a walk to the back of the ship, especially for Mum. Myself, Julia and James, we could probably do it, I would say, lifts as well, 10 minutes. With Mum, it took more like sort of 15 minutes with the lift, so not a massive difference. And remembering we are on holiday. But yeah, I mean, I don't regret doing the club dining. I don't even know how much extra it was. I think we had a deal at the time, so I'm not sure it was any extra. But to be able to go in at the time that you want to go in and not have to wait with the freedom dining, unless you sort of get down there and get into a queue, just go in when you want. What I will say is, apart from the first full day and the last full day, we didn't use it for lunch. We went to the buffet, and I will say the buffet, if anyone from P&O is watching, thanks for the like. The buffet on Britannia was so much more better than the buffet on Ventura. Azra is just going, so I'm just going to get you looking out down the walkway here, and I'll be right back with you. Where are we, Azra? Because of where you've been. There we go. All right. Oh, that's done. Right. Okay, we will find the bin very shortly. Oh, we're down to only one person watching. Can't believe it. That's probably the wife. So yeah, when we get to the end of this path, we'll be at the allotments, and then Azra's Horsey Friends. We'll start on Azra's Horsey Friends, and then we'll come off unless we get a massive amount of people watching. I can't even think what I was saying. To be honest, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about how far things were, yeah. And this is why I wouldn't take Mum on Iona or oh God, is it Aurora? Not Aurora, that's the adult one. Is it the sister ship to Iona? Can't remember what it is at the minute, because they are. Britannia had 4,000 people on it. Iona and its sister ship have 5,200, and clearly the ships are a lot bigger. And I'm not saying Julie and I would never go on a ship like that, although I don't know if I'd want to get into all this politics about sunbeds every morning. Not that we did, apart from one time. And on those bigger ships, you have to sort of reserve your seat in the sort of headliners theatre, stuff like that. It all gets a little bit un-holiday-like, at least on Britannia and Ventura. If you want to get to somewhere, like the headliners theatre, get there a bit earlier and you always get a seat. You know, that's your choice, that if you want to get there early and take away from doing something else. And that's what I'd rather do. I'd rather get there, because in most cases we were getting there probably half an hour earlier. We always got the seats we wanted. Just 1 second, guys. Let me just get rid of Azra's stuff. We chilled out. It was air conditioned. I was able to check my phone for messages, all that sort of stuff, because there was the Wi-Fi in there. All that sort of stuff. The last night, I will say, P&O, if you are listening, which I'm sure you're not, why is it on the last night you do 3 of your biggest acts, and the night before there was nothing, and you're almost asking people to split themselves in either half or even into thirds, trying to be at all these acts? Now, we did 2 of the 3. And literally, we came out of the headliners theatre and we went to watch Pulse in the Crystal Room, which was quite handy because it wasn't that far a walk. It's not that far at all. And we were quite lucky. Julia sort of went ahead and she managed to get a table. And we saw the second and third set of the night. We didn't see the first one. Now, what I will say is, Booming, they were pretty good. But we had seen them in the headliners theatre, so I wasn't overly worried if I missed them. But I don't get it, why they would do three of their most popular acts in the same night, and then not have anything the night before. I don't get it. And I've been very positive about the cruise, because we've really enjoyed ourselves. But, little things like that, you think to yourself, do me a favour, have a bit of common sense, And I wished I'd seen the entertainment manager the night before, and he was quite a sort of a chatty bloke, and I wish I'd have seen him on the last day, just to say to him, it's madness what you're doing. You're asking people to rush from one end of the ship to the other, people of all ages. It's just nuts. Azra's Horsey Friends are right over the back now, so she won't see them. Or notice them, probably. She might notice them. She's having a look, bless her. They're over the back, dog. Yeah. Right, so I think we're going to keep this going probably for another, what are we now, a few minutes. I'll just start to wrap this up because we've got a few people coming back on now. So yeah, we'll keep it going for another few minutes and then we'll go. But has anyone else been on a cruise? You know, am I moaning about little things unnecessarily? I don't know, because I'm trying not to moan, because it was a lovely cruise and we really enjoyed it, and we saw some amazing places. Cagliari in Sardinia and Gibraltar, the Rock of Gibraltar. You know, these are places that sort of stick in your memory for a long time, and even places that we said, you know, we might like to go back to, you know, for longer than just sort of 5-6 hours. But that's all in the future. You know, for now, we've got the little river cruise to look forward to next weekend, Euro Disney in October to look forward to, and then we've got 2 holidays already booked for next year, which I've already spoken about on the channel, but going to Wales for a week, and then we are having our 20-year wedding anniversary in Orlando next year, and then the year after, when James finishes his GCSEs and we finally managed to get it booked, we are going to Orlando again to go to Disney and Universal, and that possibly will be the last big family holiday, although James is still talking about wanting to go on cruises. But we'll see whether he wants to still come away with Mum and Dad in a few years' time. We'll see about that. But I will say, guys, we saw James for breakfast and dinner on sea days, and then we did not see him until he would come back of an evening, and he would always ask, what time can I stay out to? And because he was on holiday, we did let him stay out later because everyone else was. He would go to the cinema some nights, but we would always say to him, be home between 11 and 11:30. And there was not a single night he was ever late, ever. He's a good boy, you know, despite he drives us nuts at times. He's a good boy. He always knows, you know, don't take a mile. Obviously on days when we were going out off the ship, he was always with us, because they wouldn't allow him off the ship if he wasn't with one of us. But they were very good. Like, if I was in front, then James came out, they would always say, is James with you? So they were very good about that, to be honest with you, and I must say full credit to P&O, and I'm sure they're all like that. But yeah, they were very, very good. But my point is that he's now, it doesn't feel like they're our babies anymore when they get to this age. I mean, he's 14, going to be 15 in March, and it just feels like in the last sort of 6 months to a year, and helping to run a football team, you notice it. They all grow up all of a sudden, and they're all sort of becoming a little bit more independent. They always come back to Mum and Dad when they want something, but they're gaining their little independence, which is really nice. You know, to see them all grow, obviously especially our son, but to see them all grow is pretty amazing. So, right guys, I think we're going to wrap this up. It's been lovely having you company this morning. Thank you to anyone who has stuck with it all the way around. We do this every day, so do make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will do this all again tomorrow. Cheers guys, and have a lovely Saturday. You going to say goodbye, Azra? Azra, you say goodbye? Good girl.